I'm 82. Last month, I checked myself into Pinewood Nursing Home for 5 days. Not because I needed care, but because I needed the truth. My son, Thomas, thought I'd lost my mind. Mom, why would you do that? My daughter-in-law was blunter. Violet, that's crazy. But when you reach the autumn of your life, you stop trusting comfort and start searching for reality. Right now, I live peacefully in my own home, my routines, my independence, still intact. But tomorrow, that's never promised. 3 of my closest friends went into these places, and when they came back, something inside them was gone. Not their health, not their memory, something deeper. And what I discovered inside those walls changed everything I thought I knew about growing old. I've spent years warning my friends, stay out of nursing homes unless you have no choice. But I realized I was speaking from fear, not knowledge. I'd never spent a single night in one. So I made a decision. Despite Thomas begging me not to, despite his insistence that I'd never end up in such a place, I needed to know the truth. I wanted to prepare myself for whatever might come. I arranged to stay in room 21 on the 3rd floor, not as a visitor, not as a volunteer, as a resident. I followed their schedule, ate their food, lived completely under their system. I didn't just observe Pinewood Nursing Home. I lived it. What I experienced was nothing like I expected. I thought nursing homes would be quiet and calm, like hospitals with softer lighting. I was wrong. The noise hit me first. TVs blasting in every room, different programs competing with each other. The hallways echoed with overlapping sounds that never stopped. It seemed deliberate, noise created to mask loneliness, as if silence might force staff to acknowledge the people they were caring for. Even in my room, I couldn't escape the constant soundtrack of other people's lives. It left me restless, on edge. Day 2 revealed the rigid schedule that ruled everyone's lives. Breakfast at 7:30, medications at 8:15, activities at 10 o'clock, lunch at noon sharp. No one asked if I was hungry. No one wondered if I preferred to sleep past 6 a.m. The schedule was fixed, immovable as stone. The staff called it structure and stability. They believed routine was kindness. But I saw something different. Control wrapped in a blanket of care. They decided when we ate, slept, bathed, without considering that each person had spent decades making these choices for themselves. This was an organization. It was the quiet beginning of erasing who we are. On the 3rd day, I noticed Liza at breakfast, 75, with bright eyes that didn't match her slumped shoulders. She pushed scrambled eggs around her plate, never taking a bite. I could tell she didn't want to eat. Maybe she wasn't hungry. Maybe she craved something different. But there sat the meal, placed before her at the designated time, portioned for seniors' nutritional needs. She had no choice, no alternatives, just eggs she didn't want. When our eyes met, I saw it. The moment a person accepts they'll never again be asked what they want. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because the bed was uncomfortable or the hall lights too bright. I was disturbed by what I was witnessing. This wasn't just about schedules or noise. It was about something deeper, something happening to the people here. I wasn't just observing anymore. I was understanding. By day 4, I understood a truth about nursing homes that no brochure mentions. The loneliness here is different from living alone. When you live alone, solitude is something you control. You can call a friend, visit a neighbor, sit in a coffee shop. Your aloneness belongs to you. In a nursing home, you're surrounded by people, yet profoundly isolated. 20 residents in a room, each locked in private silence. Staff bustling around you, never truly seeing you. It's a shared isolation, collective yet deeply personal. We sat together at meals, watched TV together in the common room, yet remained untouched, unseen. This loneliness has walls, but no doors. The most devastating thing wasn't the medical care or even being dependent on others. It was losing the small decisions that make us who we are. For 60 years, I chose when to wake up, what to eat for breakfast, whether to read a book or watch television, when to talk, and when to be quiet. In the nursing home, these choices disappeared. And with them, something else vanished, my sense of self. These small decisions aren't small at all. They're the building blocks of who we are. When someone takes them away, we begin to fade. I watched residents who'd been there for months. Their eyes showed it, the slow erosion of identity, not from illness, but from losing the freedom to be themselves. The greatest loss isn't independence. It's becoming a stranger to yourself. On my last day, I watched Arnold, 87, a former construction worker with hands that built houses. He tried to stand from his chair, slowly, carefully, just to prove he still could. A nurse rushed over. "Arnold, no. It's not safe. You need to call for help." He looked at her, then at his hands. Without a word, he sank back down. No argument, no fight, just quiet surrender. In that moment, I saw it clearly. This wasn't about safety. It was about Bernard losing the right to decide when to stand up. His independence had become permission-based living. By my final day, I noticed something crucial. Some residents still had a spark in their eyes, while others seemed to fade away. The difference wasn't health or family visits. It was purpose. Mr. Collins woke early each morning to fold newspapers for everyone. No one asked him to. No one paid him. But he did it with precision, like it mattered. Mrs. Abernathy watered the same lobby plant every Tuesday. "It needs me," she'd say. Frank insisted on setting tables for dinner, arranging each fork with care. These people weren't just existing, they were participating. They woke with intention. They felt needed, not just managed. While others surrendered to the schedule, these few held onto who they were. The truth is painfully simple. When a person still feels useful, they don't just survive. They live. What keeps people truly alive in nursing homes isn't better food or nicer rooms. It's purpose. Having something anything that needs you, a reason to wake up that goes beyond just existing. I watched residents with serious health problems thrive because they still had purpose. And I saw physically healthy people wither because they'd lost their reason for being. Purpose isn't a luxury. It's survival. It preserves your identity when everything else is taken away. On my last morning, I sat with Liza at breakfast. "What do you miss most?" I asked. She didn't hesitate. "My garden." Her eyes brightened. The smell of dirt after rain. Deciding which flowers to plant where. Even the weeds, they were my weeds. Not her house, not her possessions, just the small, daily freedom of tending something that was hers alone. "I had routines too," she said, "but they were mine. I chose them." In that moment, I understood completely. Independence doesn't live in grand freedoms. It lives in small choices that belong only to you. When I got home, my daughter asked what I'd learned. Independence isn't stubbornness. I told her, it's who I am. Every small choice I make, when to drink my tea, which book to read, how long to sit in silence, these aren't luxuries. They're the threads that keep me whole. Lose these choices, and you lose yourself. Here's the truth I discovered in those 5 days. A nursing home isn't just a building. It's a state of being. It begins the moment you stop being needed, when you no longer make your own decisions, when nothing asks anything of you anymore. The real danger isn't where you live. It's when life stops expecting you to show up, when your presence no longer matters to anyone, including yourself. That's when the walls close in, whether you're in a facility or your own home. I came home and made my own coffee at 10 a.m., not 7:30. I sat in my garden until sunset because I wanted to. I returned not with fear, but with clarity about what matters, living on my own terms for as long as I possibly can. Find something that needs you. Protect it with everything you have. A garden that won't grow without your touch. A grandchild who waits for your stories. A neighbor who counts on your daily wave. It doesn't matter what it is, only that it expects you to show up. This isn't just what keeps you independent. It's what keeps you alive. The truth I found in room 21 wasn't complicated. Hold on to your purpose and your small freedoms with both hands. They're not luxuries. They're what keep you from disappearing. I wish for all of us to stay in our own homes, surrounded by those we love, with the freedom to choose our own paths until the very end.